And be careful with skills and professional qualities, because if they are expected of you, nobody cares about them. A lot of this stuff is expected of you. You go into your job field, people are going to expect you to communicate, especially your bosses. So you may not want to have to put that stuff. Graphic design skills, that's a hard skill. If I were y'all, I would suggest looking up the difference between hard skills and soft skills and just kind of steer away from soft skills. So here's the agenda for today. We are going to be looking at the resume assignment, which is due this Friday, by the way, so just bear that in mind. We're going to be looking at the components and resources. Now, a lot of that I'm not going to go too deep into. I put it all on the slide so y'all can go in and look at it how y'all want to look at it, and when y'all want to look at it. So just bear that in mind. I'm not going to read every single component. And then we're going to be going over some examples. I think those might help quite a bit. I'm going to be also showing you like an evolution of my resume and show you that I think I mentioned that one time a few weeks back, how I made that one really big mistake and that you shouldn't do the exact same thing. We'll get into that. Then we're going to be going over the mock interview assignment, sign-ups, which there's going to be a little bit of a change-up. I'm not sure you're going to like me for it, but I wanted to switch things up. And then we are going to do a small discussion. So what you're going to need for that is just a phone or a computer out. The computers and phones don't necessarily have to be on, just have it near you.
Switch things up how?
Yeah, I'll tell y'all. So the assignment, it's 10 points total. And this is basically what I'm going to be looking for. Dear God, no grammar or spelling errors. Okay, and that's what I'm going to get into later. You have to proofread that. And typically, if you want to do this well, you get other people's eyes on it. Because a lot of times, it's like I write books, and even then, I will reread it 1,000 times and still misspell something. So that's why you have to give it to other people's eyes. I'm going to be looking for format. This is due for this Friday, 11:59, in Blackboard under More Assignments. Okay? In Blackboard under More Assignments. So the components, like I said, I'm not really going to get into this sort of stuff. Y'all can find this on Blackboard. Y'all can find this when I upload this to Blackboard. We're going to be looking for all of these things. Name, the font size, bold headings. Okay, we're going to get into examples. More components. These are like different sections. See that sticky note up there? It says other applicable sections. Community service, organizations. There's even more than what we have here. Okay? Is that good for everybody? Yes, there is a one-page limit. Don't go past one page. Okay? I will count off for that. So the resources, I compiled this for y'all in Blackboard. Use it. I think there's even one thing I accidentally left out, and it's not the checklist. It's another guide, like another example. So it's check Blackboard under lab information, and then all the way down at the bottom it should say resume resources. And I have a Rollins College of Business example if you want to use that. There's a TTU guide that's got like really fancy, handy-dandy words and filler words and action words and stuff like that. There's a crash course, like a YouTube video, which might be helpful for y'all. And then a checklist. I might look over that checklist for grading. And then the general and recommended template. So that template, I was originally not going to make it a template. I was going to make it a screenshot so you couldn't go in and edit it. But it's called a template on purpose. You can go in, download it, and just fill out whatever the heck you want to fill out. So, you know, thank Dr. Clem for that, because I was going to make y'all have to format it on your own. But if you don't want to do formatting, just go to Blackboard and download that dang template and put in all the information you'd like, and you can submit that. Okay, use keywords. In that guide, I think it was the guide. Yeah, in that guide, there's, oh my gosh, there's at least 100 different keywords that you could use, and action words and stuff like that. Just peel off the top. Peel what you like. Proofread it. Tailor it to the job you want. That's really important too. Okay? Right, so I used to work at a law firm and stuff like that. So I would tailor it. I would make sure to mention that I used to work at a law firm because I want to tailor it to, I want people to know I used to work there.
What'd you do with the law firm?
I was a document runner. So I answered phones. I was lucky enough to know the one of the partners. And so I would go to like zoning ordinances and stuff with him and go to depositions. It was really cool. Keep it consistent. That's really important. The last class I taught in Writing, we did a resume assignment also, and one of the main things I counted off for was tense, because we didn't keep it the exact same tense. So for instance, if it's a previous job, the tense should be past. So everything, all the action words should be in ED. If it's a current job, it's in present tense. All the action words should be in ing, and it should be consistent. Also keep spacing and colors consistent. You don't want to be too wild. Okay, here's your first example. Really straightforward. There's not a lot of formatting to this sort of thing. You can go into Word and do this pretty easily. Okay, does everyone get that general idea? Good. So here's mine. We're going to start the evolution of mine. This is what I first started out with. I blacked out all the really important stuff. So this is a long time ago. But here we go. We got education. Like I said, really straightforward. I think I formatted this in Google Docs. It was kind of hard actually to get like 2 separate columns. But after that, 1 page. Yeah,
I
super
heard
simple.
the tip that 2 columns on the resume isn't good because they'll
Oh, yeah?
read one of them.
Sorry?
They'll
Oh,
read one of them.
yeah, that could be. That could definitely be a point that y'all want to think about for sure, and because there are, what do I call it? Like eye tracking maps for when employers look at resumes, and like heat eye tracking maps. So you might want to look that sort of thing up just to see where people look first, because a lot of times, give me 1 second. A lot of times they'll just breeze through all of the middle. So you put the most important stuff at the top left because that's where we start reading, and then I think they end at the bottom right. What's up?
Do you want to please our TT email or our personal?
Yeah, so on the assignment, like on the rubric, I think it says to put your phone, like I'll be looking for your phone number and email, that sort of stuff. Now, if y'all aren't comfortable with that, you could just put, not a random email, like a fake example.
If you start it with 555, then it won't actually be a number. That's what they do in movies when they need a
Oh, that's cool.
number, so that no one accidentally gets called.
Yeah, you could do that, or just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's up to you. It's not like I'm going to use it or anything. If you want to make your resume, current, put the stuff in it. It's up to you. What's up?
Is the blacked out part our address?
Yeah, I can't remember what I put there. It was. I think it may have been 3 address lines. So I just blocked that sort of stuff out. Now you don't have to do that. I just did it for like I have a website. I block all that stuff out. I guess you can if you want. I don't think I'll count off for it. But to be safe, I wouldn't. Okay. Okay, we switched it up. I can't remember when I made this. Maybe it was like 2018, something like that. We switched it up. Look at the difference. No more columns, straight down. I also want you to look at the fonts. I think there's 2 or 3 different fonts used. So look at the bolding also and the italics. Does everyone see the difference? So use that formatting to your advantage. Use bolding, use italics, use different fonts. Now the trick with fonts is that you don't use too many. You can absolutely use too many. I typically hover around 2. 3 can almost be a lot. 3 is a big number for a resume. But you can if you fit it in correctly. Okay? Now look at this. So I formatted this in Google Docs. I think this was the same, maybe a Word doc. Guess what I did? Formatted that in. That was Photoshop. Look at the difference. We got columns again.
I like the logo.
Yeah, and the logo. So I also want us to pay attention to color. A lot of times right now when we go into the job industry, people personality-wise are a little bit more conservative. Personality, not politically. Personality. So what that means is they like things straightforward, black and white, everything in confines. So they might not like a lot of color. I will tell you what, I don't think people will always be super picky, but some people might, especially if they're employers and especially if they have that type of personality. So if someone looks at my resume and sees a red TTU logo, they might throw it in the trash. Just be mindful of that, okay? You can use color. but you just got to be careful. Depends on the person.
Like more creative careers would probably
Yeah.
want colors.
100%. More creative careers. Yeah, what's up?
I've been working on mine.
Yeah, like
Could
creative
I
design, you're gonna
not
want crazy.
do colors for this assignment then?
Well, I mean it more along the lines in a general sense. So it's like I'm not going to force y'all to not use color. I want to see who y'all are and y'all's personality and stuff like that. So it's like if y'all feel like you're going into a more creative field, go ahead and put color and things like that. I doubt I'm going to count off. Unless I feel as if it's way too much and way too out there. Does that answer your question? Good. So yeah, you can absolutely do what you feel like is best.
You can always run it by the career center.
That too. That's a great resource. So we changed fonts. We changed pretty much everything about this in comparison to this. So let's see. Is this the one I made a mistake on? I don't think so. Here it is. So these last two slides are just the evolution of that previous resume. I added professional qualities, I think. Yeah, down at the bottom left. You don't have to do that. A lot of times they really don't mean anything. And be careful with skills and professional qualities, because if they are expected of you, nobody cares about them. A lot of this stuff is expected of you. You go into your job field, people are going to expect you to communicate, especially your bosses. So you may not want to have to put that stuff. Graphic design skills, that's a hard skill. If I were y'all, I would suggest looking up the difference between hard skills and soft skills and just kind of steer away from soft skills. I wanted to take up some room with the professional qualities, and I didn't need half of these. I didn't need communication skills. I might be able to put interpersonal, definitely put graphic design, but writing, that's still expected of you. And then public speaking, still often expected of you. It's what this class is for. It's why it's required.
I feel like with the writing one, you could turn it into a hard skill if you added like technical or creative
Yeah.
before it.
That's true. If you make it a little bit more descriptive, a lot of times you can pass it off as a hard skill. Maybe. But I would just look those sorts of things up and peel off what you like. Now, I made a fatal mistake. I had this on my website for like a year before I noticed. Right up here, I misspelled communication. Now, the irony is that I am in communication. I'm in communication studies, I'm in public relations, I'm in interpersonal communication, all of it. And I misspell communication. It's a fatal mistake, obviously fatal mistake. So I think if I were an employer and I saw this sort of thing, I would hope I wouldn't be too hard on this person. But at the same time, you're in communication, you can't spell it right? Come on. That's the important part about giving it to other people so they can read it. I had this up for a year, okay? A year. And here should be my current one. I took out a lot of stuff. I took out some of the jobs, like even I think, did I keep the law firm one? No, I made it more recent. So I took out the law firm one, Domino's Pizza. Took out the professional qualities, just added a little bit more white space, okay? Now this side might be a little funky because of the formatting, but I did it on purpose. It's more along the lines to show you, look at all these. It's supposed to be pompous. So even if it's not perfectly formatted, I did it on purpose to be pompous. Look at how large this achievement section is. Okay? You can do that sort of thing. Think about your achievements. I can't remember if we got to it or not, but you do want to steer away from putting high school information in your resume. Just don't put any of it. It's got to be spectacular if it's in high school. And spectacular isn't that you were president of a club. Okay, nobody cares about high school. Nobody. Doesn't even matter if you were the star quarterback, whatever. No one cares.
So far.
Sorry?
What if high school's all we got so far?
Yeah, that's, I know we have that trouble. I had that trouble last semester too, or a year back. If you need to fill in space, you can use your high school stuff, but just I would be careful. I wouldn't rely on it. Is that okay with you, or what? What are you thinking?
I'm just confused.
Can we just put like when we graduated high school and then
Sure.
that's it?
Yeah. I'll try and clarify. I don't want to see a lot of high school stuff. If you have it, I understand because y'all are an undergrad, right? But it's like this, if all of this is high school stuff, I'm pretty sure I'd count off. Yeah, let me go here.
So, do you want us to put graduation date and stuff like that, or like where
Yeah.
you graduated from
Sure.
for high school?
Yeah, because I think even
I said don't put high school in the education section.
really.
That's what the rubric on
The
the email
rubric?
said.
Okay, follow the rubric.
Which I got the day after I submitted it, so I gotta resubmit it.
So I think what that means then would be the your expected graduation for here.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put it?
I'm just saying, like,
NHS would be all right?
That's the that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Where would you put it?
National Honor Society and like achievements.
Achievements? Yeah, that sounds good. Was there another question over here?
I'm saying, like, jobs you took at the same time as high school.
Yes, jobs. You will want to put jobs through high school. What's that?
That's what I asked. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, 100%. Jobs, yes. Jobs, yes.
Okay.
But I just mean like other extracurricular activities inside high school. No one cares.
That's why I was confused. I was like, what, nothing during?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I'm
all
sorry.
had.
I should have been more specific. Yes. So throughout high school, definitely put those jobs because like a lot of these Domino's. No, that was out of high school. Pope Hardwick, I went back and forth through high school. So the jobs absolutely put in your experience. What's up?
What if it's like incredibly relevant to your job field? Like, and
Give me an example.
thought you experienced. Well, I was in Future Educators of America,
Mhm.
and we like went and volunteered in classrooms.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You could put that in like volunteer experience or just I wouldn't rely on it. Just put it.
Yeah,
You could definitely put it somewhere. Yes. Yeah. You could definitely put it somewhere. Does everyone get the general idea?
Do we
Yeah.
have to put references?
No, you don't have to. Now, a lot of this stuff, like I taught last year, I don't know why I keep saying it. Last year was that we had trouble filling in space, right? Because we don't have a great deal of experience. So if you're having trouble filling in space, you can email me and just double check what you want to put in there, or just use your best judgment. I just don't want to see a reliance on high school stuff. But jobs, any job ever, typically you put in your resume, especially how young we are. That's why I had these. For so long. Domino's. It's like that wasn't really relevant for a while, but I put it on there because it was one of my jobs. Is that clear to everybody? I don't want to confuse anyone. Good. That should be, I think. Yeah, okay, we're going to get into the mock interview. So the goal of the mock interview is just pure preparation. You can get more in depth on Blackboard. She has a whole paragraph as to why we're doing this sort of thing. But it is preparation for real interviews. And I will tell you what, the interviews I've been in, they have asked some really wild questions. And I'm going to peel some of those off, and I'm going to ask you all those. Okay? So it's great practice. If you're super nervous about this sort of thing, it's not like getting up here in public speaking. You know, it's a little bit different. I'm sure you might still have some nerves and things of that nature, but it's great practice, and I want you to remember that. So I know it says you will sign up for a 1 10-minute slot. Typically, they don't take 10 minutes when we start. Typically, they don't. And I will sign y'all up. So I had signed y'all up last night using a random wheel. Right? So yes, yeah. Y'all don't have any leeway now to decide when you want to go. At least not for this one. I'm not going to stick with this forever, I don't think. But for this, I wanted it to be a little bit more nerve-wracking. That maybe you didn't have a choice. Maybe a job comes up and you have to apply for it, and they say, "Hey, can you come in today?" That's the nature of why I wanted to do something like that.
Are they all at least during the class time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the syllabus there are 5 days, but I think I'm going to try and take 4. So we have more preparation for the next upcoming assignment after that, which is a presentation. So the reason why I'm not going to show y'all where you are on the lines now, the order now, is because I have to go back in and redo that. What's up?
When is the order gonna come out?
Sorry?
When is like the order?
Tonight. I'll have it absolutely by tonight. I'm going to go back up to the office after this class and get it done. So, and I'll email y'all when y'all can go look in Blackboard. So 100 points possible, 2 to 5 questions asked from me, and now there's a couple baseline questions that y'all are all going to understand that I'm going to ask all of you, which is like, tell me a little bit about yourself, stuff like that. Okay? 10-minute interview, typically they don't last 10 minutes, especially if there's 5 or 6 students in a block. These are not recorded, thank goodness. So the mock interview breakdown, which is broken down by Dr. Clem, is going to be in your email inbox at 2 p.m. today. It's scheduled. Okay, it is scheduled today to send you that link. Please look at it. I have my own little breakdown that she did for the TAs. I want you all to look at it. It just makes it way more straightforward. So, this I want you to listen to. If you're not listening now, now's the time. Each student will ask another student 2 questions. So depending on the block that you are in, you will ask questions. I'm not going to be the only one asking. Okay? The student who interviewed before you will ask you 2 questions. That means the last interviewer would ask the first questions of the day. Keep in mind, I'm asking every student, tell me about yourself, which I just told you. So don't choose this as one of your questions. Have backup questions, because those could be helpful. Now, when it says, like, don't choose this as one of your questions, don't be broad. Look up some interview questions and try and peel off some of those. Like, don't choose some cheesy ones. Try and choose some legitimate interview questions that you might hear. Okay? What's up?
Will we know what kind of job the person we're asking the questions to
That's a
is
good
going
question.
towards?
I know I will.
Because I know there's a bunch of like
I don't
different
think
majors in this stuff.
I don't think you'll have to tailor it.
Oh, okay.
I will have to tailor mine.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'll have to. If that changes, I'll email you. Was there another question over here somewhere? No? Okay. Let's keep going. Is that clear to everybody? So when y'all are in y'all's block, you will be asking your peers questions. The timeline, here's the timeline. So it was originally 5 days, that's why I have to go in and change it, but we've changed it to 4. So group 1, Monday, March 4th, Wednesday, March 6th, and then there's spring break, so just don't forget about it. Group 3 and group 4. So we're picking it back up after we're done with spring break. Is that clear? Awesome. Okay, so the assessment, I'm not going to go over all this. Confidence, professionalism, communication, attentiveness, enthusiasm, responding to questions, how well you respond to questions, under pressure especially, and then asking your questions at the end. It's pretty straightforward. You can find this in Blackboard. Did I miss something? Here we go. Important notes. This is really important. Y'all are going to enjoy this, I'm sure. Students will only come on the day of their interview. So whatever block you were in, that's when you come. You don't have to go to your other students. Now, the thing with this is, if you have to make up the mock interview, it's highly likely you're going to have to do it in front of the entire class. So just be mindful of that to just get it done on the day you want to get it done, unless you want to do it in front of all your peers here. All right? So y'all don't need to come the other 3 interview days, just your interview day. Now, there is a pre-mock interview packet, and I need it 24 hours before the interview, because this pre-interview packet, which is found on Blackboard, this will help me tailor the questions to you, because I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm about 90% certain that you go in and talk about the job that you would like to get. So I need it. This isn't one of those things where you email it to me right before the interview. We can't do that. Otherwise, I'm going to count off. I need it 24 hours before. And then you'll also post your resume in there, in the packet. Self-reflection, again, don't forget about it, please. I've tried to be good with reminders, but don't forget about it. Within 24 hours of the interview, not recorded, I already said that. Nice reiteration. If you have to make up, I already said that. If you have to make up your mock interview, you'll have to do it in front of the class. And historically speaking, a lot of times people get a lot more anxious when we're doing it in front of our peers with the entire class. So typically smaller groups are helpful. Should be. Sign-ups, I told you all about that. So what I did was I went in, I put all y'all's names in a random generator, clicked the wheel, and then just filled in the names. All right? What's up?
Is it going to be in here or in your office?
I think we're going to do it in here. We're going to do it in here, and I'll probably move that. We'll probably come up here. I think that table will work. Yeah. But I'll sit on the opposite side of y'all, so it'll be a little bit more like a mock interview. Dang. Making great time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the discussion. So I want you all to take, we might take 5 because it's early. So take 5 minutes to find 2 or 3 unique interview questions, then you're going to pair up and then ask each other.